The Doobie Brothers were like two different bands, the Tom Johnson Doobies and the Michael McDonald Doobies. And there aren't a lot of bands that can say that they survived switching out their lead singer right at their peak. This is the story of the Doobie Brothers. The Doobie Brothers were founded in San Jose, California in 1969 as a band called Pud. Tom was the lead singer right from the beginning. Eventually, they shifted the lineup, bringing in bassist Dave Sjogren and adding Patrick Simmons as a second songwriter and singer. The band's earliest following was actually made up of Hell's Angels and people like them, just by proxy alone. Eventually, they wanted a new name, and someone suggested as a joke, why don't you use the Doobie Brothers? Because of a particular habit they were all kind of known for. They used it, intending to change it at some point, and it just never happened. 1971, they released their self-titled debut album, and it was a total flop. So they made a couple of distinct changes. They got a new bassist, Teron Porter. They added a second drummer, Mike Hossack, which was pretty different at the time, but made their sound very big. Finally, they started working with producer Ted Templeman, who helped them professionalize their biker bar sound without losing their edge. Tom's songwriting changed too. This is when he started doing that continuous strumming thing that they were known for, like in Listen to the Music, for example. That song, along with their whole second album, Toulouse Street, would help them break through on the radio and on the Billboard charts. The follow-up album, The Captain and Me, was also a big success, but it was Black Water, written and sung by Patrick Simmons, a little bit more of a folksy country song that would become their first #1 hit. Jeffrey Skunk Baxter also added some guitar to the album that song was on. What were once vices are now habits in 1974, and officially joined the band the following year. While on tour for that next record in 1975, Tom had to be hospitalized for severely bleeding stomach ulcers and was forced to leave, so Skunk suggested Michael McDonald, who stepped in as singer. Michael joined them in 1975, and they started the second era of their career. And it was like they were a totally different band. Being a keyboard player and interested in soul music, Michael led the Doobies in a very different direction than Tom had. Gone were the catchy songs with the continuous strumming. In came the electric pianos and the jazzy, soulful vibes. In 1978, they released Minute by Minute. And the lead track, What a Fool Believes, shot up to #1 on the Billboard charts. And they won 4 Grammys that year. For a couple more years, they continued in that direction until they finally decided to call it quits in 1982 for the first time with a massive farewell tour, where Tom Johnston actually joined them on stage for their final concert in Berkeley, California. Michael McDonald embarked on a successful solo career, and the Doobie Brothers reunited in 1987 with Tom Johnston back up front. And the band continued to tour to this day.